And that is the question. Which heavyweight will get hot? The unbeaten heavyweights ready to collide. Earl Morton, the referee. They're scheduled for 10.
Command, keep your punches up. Protect yourself at all times. Give me a good clean break. Touch gloves and good luck.
And the ring experience is brought to you by Tecate, and we put forth the experience of a 10-round fight where Kevin Johnson, 4-0, Vargas has had a fight go 8 rounds, had a decision in February 08, has never been past 8 rounds.
And you know, Joe, going 10 rounds is already on the mind, in the head of Vargas, because he said before the fight, I've got to pace myself. He said he only had 9 days to adjust and get ready for 10 rounds. So already thinking about that, that can be a problem. That can be baggage if Johnson makes it baggage.
He talked about the fight as he tries with that looping, sweeping left hand. He talked about the fact that when it was offered, when the fight was offered, they sat back and they had to assess the risk. Is it worth taking this opportunity? You said you were stunned that the fight was made, but we love the fact that the fight was made. If you were assessing this fight, if you were managing or training Devin Vargas, would you have taken the fight in these circumstances on the short notice?
You know, that's a real good question. That's the million-dollar question. I probably would have gotten a fight where my guy Vargas took a deep breath first. I don't think he's taking a deep breath. I'm not saying he's not going to win this fight, but I don't think he's taking a deep breath physically, emotionally, technically in a professional fight yet. He's been in with very soft opposition. Johnson has taken a deep breath, at least a half a deep breath in a fight. He's got his feet planted down with more confidence in the pros. He knows what he can depend on. He knows how he's going to behave in certain quarters in the pros. Vargas hasn't found that out yet. In the amateurs, yes. But I would have gotten him maybe one other fight in the pros to get him ready for this step up, because this is a significant step up for the younger Vargas. Look, Johnson has the advantage. I just touched on it, fighting the much better pro opposition. That's what he's hoping for. That's going to serve him tonight. Vargas has the advantage. We just showed it, of having a much longer and deeper amateur experience and background. Which one means more? You know what? We're going to get a vision of that. We're going to get a chance to see that right now. Johnson wants a little separation. He wants to use that jab downstairs, upstairs. He brags about that jab. He wants separation with that jab, and he wants separation so Vargas can reach in, make some mistakes. And I think he's looking to pot shot Vargas as he comes in. I think the busier guy is going to be Vargas, Joe. I don't know that he's going to be the more effective guy. I don't know that he's going to cleanly land more punches. But I think he's going to be the guy with a heavier workload. That's his style. It is not the style of Johnson. Johnson, every once in a while, he's going to put those earmuffs on, cover up, give you an opportunity to work a little bit. And I think Vargas, when he sees those earmuffs on, like right there, he needs to take advantage.
Fired off the 1-2. End of 1. Vargas Johnson.
Take a look at the action from the first round. We talked about in the fight plan. Jab to the body and then try to catch him upstairs with the right hand. You saw it right there, exactly what Vargas had in his mind. Stabilize him with the jab downstairs and then sneak the right hand upstairs. Almost worked. He just missed Johnson. And you know what you also saw there, Joe? The other part of the fight plan. Johnson.
The pulling back with the right hand.
At the same time as Vargas was doing what we talked about, Johnson was looking to rotate that right shoulder back.
That's right.
And sneak in his own right hand. So already a little strategic battle going on. Interesting night. Interesting heavyweight bout.
Round 2 of our heavyweight main event. Devin Vargas, you see him in the American flag trunks, the 2004 Olympian, the Team USA captain, a former national amateur national Golden Glove champ from Toledo, Ohio. Unbeaten but untested as a heavyweight. Now, on a week and a half's notice, the ultimate test of his career. And they are trading punches here in the early goings of round 2. Kevin Johnson, 21 wins in his career. Very outspoken, big, athletic, and as we've seen time and time again, a good, solid, fast jab.
Pull that arm back. Pull
We
it
talked
out.
about
Pull it
Johnson
out.
having the advantage of better professional experience. And, of course, having gone 10 rounds 4 times, while Vargas hasn't been past 8. And, of course, Vargas has that amateur experience, and I think he's counting on it. He's hoping that that's going to show up here tonight. That's his confidence. Also, Johnson, Joe, he's just bigger and faster. Most of his career between 235 and 240. While Vargas has mostly fought between 217 and 226.
Johnson seemed to take a little something out of Vargas in the middle portion of this second round with that left hand, twice landing it.
Look, maybe the fight comes down to attrition, comes down to conditioning if we get to those later rounds. If it does, something to think about a little bit here. Vargas, he came in 6 1/4 pounds less than his last fight. He knows what's at stake. He came in ready. But this has got me a little befuddled. Johnson comes in the heaviest of his career for the biggest fight of his career. Now, I'm not saying he's not in shape, but it's kind of strange that he would come in that way, 246 1/4. Like I said, the biggest weight of his career for the biggest fight. We're going to see whether or not that translates into an advantage for Vargas later in the fight.
Johnson gives you the appearance that he carries his 246 1/4 better than Vargas carries his 225.
No, he does, but he's 29 years old. He's not growing.
Exactly. He's growing one way, but not the right way.
No.
So Johnson and Vargas, so important this fight in their growth and development. Coming to the end of round number 2, scheduled for 10. Unbeaten American heavyweight Kevin Johnson is one of the ultimate characters that we encounter on Friday Night Fights. Take a look at his shoes tonight. He's wearing one white blue shoe and another solid black. What do they do? Pack wrong on the way here? No. The guys back at the gym said, I bet you won't do something outrageous. He said, I'll wear 2 completely different shoes on national TV. I'll bet you $2 you won't. He took the bet. He went through with it. And here is Devin Vargas betting that he can score well by just coming out and jumping on Johnson early on in round 3.
A little misleading there. Yes, he's catching him a little bit, but yes, Johnson's also doing a little alley like he did in Zaire with those ropes, pulling back and taking something off those punches. They didn't land completely 100% clean. Again, Johnson pulled his head back a little bit, caught the punches a little bit, but took something off him. Also, it speaks to the bad habits of Johnson. He has some habits that he's going to pay for. Maybe tonight, maybe not. Maybe down the road. But he likes to pull back. And when you pull back, the fighters aim the punches behind you in the right place, they're going to catch you. And that's exactly what Vargas is trying to do with his aggression. When he sees Johnson pull back, he's trying to aim those punches behind him, where he pulls right into Vargas' shots. Right now, Vargas just trying to take advantage of what we talked about early, Joe. Every once in a while, Johnson will get a little lazy, lay on the ropes, put those earmuffs on a little bit. He gives you an opportunity to get your motor going. So I said right from the beginning, Vargas, I think, is going to win the punch number contest here. I don't know if that's going to translate into effective, cleaner punches, but he's going to win the pure punch number contest here. He's a busier guy. That's his temperament. That's his physical style. Johnson is not real busy. He fights in spots.
Well, and there's a perfect example as you see Vargas throwing over 160 more than Johnson, but yet a lower percentage. He's only landed 5 more punches.
See, Johnson is hoping that his punches, although they're going to be less amounts than Vargas is, that they count more. They mean more. They're cleaner. And again, Vargas, he'll be moving those hands a lot of times, but a lot of times he's catching gloves, he's catching arms. The question for the judges is, whose punches are getting in there cleaner at a better rate? This round's easy. Vargas so far carrying it, so far, just by being busy.
Far busier is the left hook from Johnson. Vargas says, bring it on. I'm going to give you a little something more.
But again, now Johnson's starting to try to separate himself with a little space and land the more effective punches. And again, that's Johnson's game.
Blood from the nose of Devin Vargas. Looping right hand scored well moments ago, and now a series of left hooks from Kevin Johnson, and Vargas clearly effective.
Again, it's the clean punches. Right now,
right
the
hand
heavy
snaps
punches,
it back.
the effective punches of Vargas against or Johnson, that make Vargas go down to a knee.
And after that offensive surge at the end of a round, a knockdown scored by Johnson. What a complete turnaround at the end of round number 3. A round that Devin Vargas went out with a volume punching attack, but Kevin Johnson found his spots, showed the power, and finished up strong.
Well, that's what makes Johnson a difficult opponent. You know, he really works, he gets you into a false sense of security, and then all of a sudden in spots, he'll unload. We're going to take a look right here at one of those spots. You see Vargas against the ropes. Vargas had been carrying around earlier, throwing the larger quantity of punches, but right now the quality punches being landed by Johnson. Vargas against the ropes. Johnson doing a good job of picking his spots. And again, you see the cleaner shots, the better vision of the more mature Johnson, finding the holes, finding the clean opportunities and alleyways where Vargas was not able to do that early in the round.
Remember what Kevin Johnson said before this meeting of these unbeaten heavyweights. He said, I am going to knock him out. Vargas said 300 amateur fights, 17 pro fights. Nobody's ever touched me like that. He thinks he will. A lot of talk before this one. Now Johnson with an opportunity to deliver upon it. Loading up those right hands. Vargas comes back with a right of his own and then a left to the body. Sharp right hand trying to split the guard by Johnson, and he winds it up.
But look, we said that there was doubt in Vargas' mind. I thought when I heard that quote, I've got to pace myself. I only had 9 days to get ready for 10 rounds. I thought there was doubt in his head already. Multiply that by about 10 now after being dropped for the first time in his career. And there might be panic in the head of Vargas.
2 times you just saw Devin Vargas take his right glove and paw at his right ear. And we are being told by a ringside observer with a trusted eye that Vargas was complaining after that last round that he was having difficulties with his right ear. Now, Teddy, you've been around the game for a long time. He had left hooks land to the side of the head. Many times, and you don't want to play doctor here and guess, but a ruptured eardrum is a common injury in boxing when you take a power shot to the side of the head.
Or a ruptured confidence could be it too.
Exactly.
He got hit left hooks that affected him in a way that he's never been affected before in his young pro career, and right now he's having trouble dealing with it. It's either one, but either one, the essence of a fighter is to overcome, to fight through it. But guess what? Mr. Vargas, with all that amateur experience, if he's going to go up the ladder right now, he's going to have to find a way, like other fighters before him, have found ways to fight through whatever his problems are. That is the essence of being a fighter.
Time for Devin Vargas to make a decision. How to react to this. The tough challenge in front of him here.
Well, right now you see Johnson, the more physical guy, the more confident guy, the more mature guy. And you see him as the boss. I mean, he just looks like he's got his kid in front of him. Like, I'm going to move you where I want to, and I'm going to get what I want to get.
Vargas, right hand came in. Johnson patient here, last 20 seconds. Remember, this is where he came on strong in the last round. Uppercut by Vargas.
So this is where the temperament of Johnson, you know, a careful temperament, a temperament that picks spots, maybe hurts him a little bit. He's allowed Vargas to survive here when he had him hurt in the last round.
And the 4.
Take a look at the action here. Vargas right there, throws a punch and then touches his ear. Just what you were talking about, Joe. Kept going to his ear there.
That is Devin Vargas from Toledo, Ohio. Former captain of Team USA in the Olympic Games. Now 17-0. By far the toughest challenge of his career, standing opposite the fellow unbeaten American Kevin Johnson, who scored a knockdown at the end of round number 3. Now round 5 scheduled for 10.
You know, Vargas has never been in these waters, in these dimensions before. What he needs from his corner and what he needed the last round from his corner. And that could be tough, especially when your main corner, your chief second, is your father. maybe he gets too emotional. Maybe he gets more emotional than he would if it wasn't his blood in front of him.
That's a unique dynamic that we've seen play out in corners throughout the years of the sport and in tough spots many times.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough for a father seeing his son, undefeated heavyweight in this match, get dropped for the first time in his pro career. Matter of fact, according to Vargas, the first time in his career period that he had never been dropped in the amateurs. And now the father sees that. How does he react? Does he react calmly the way he would with a guy that is not his son and just tell him what he has to do, or does he start to panic a little bit? Right now, what would have had to be told, I think, to Vargas was to remind him, son, you have overcome things in your 300 amateur fights, in your journey to the Olympic Games. You've overcome many things. You're prepared to overcome this.
That uppercut by Vargas was smothered as Johnson covered up on the inside, now stalking his prey.
What's going on right here is it looks like Johnson's still the boss. He's the confident guy. He's a more physical guy. He's looking for spots. But because of his temperament, because of his style, only fighting in spots, he's allowing Vargas to survive. He's allowing Vargas to have good moments in a round by just being busy again. Again, that's the temperament of Johnson. He might brag till the cows come home that he's pretty and he's got a fast jab and he's got all those things, and he may very well have them. But one thing that he's not a finisher.
He wants to be tonight. 2 left hooks rain in. And once again, Vargas goes down.
And Vargas is thinking right now of whether or not he's going to continue. And he's not sure. And he's looking at his corner, not where you want him looking. He's going to get a little extra time here now because he spit out his mouthpiece. He lost his mouthpiece. Watch it out for him. Get a few more seconds to get himself together. He's touching that ear again. And again, you're a fighter. You have to find a way to get past that. And right now we're going to find out whether or not he has it inside him.
Kevin Johnson looking for that home run. Vargas meeting him with punches. Johnson backs him up, trying to tee up that right hand. A left comes in, a right comes in, and they fight to the bell, and Vargas remains on his feet, struggling to get back to the corner and find relief.
Right now, in the mind of Vargas,
give me a cold bottle of water.
Is whether or not he wants to continue this fight. He's in that corner right now. Out whether or not he makes a decision to come out for this round.
You want to stop it? I can't hear. I'll stop it then. No. What do you want to do? Let's go, but you boxing for me then. No, but he's. I understand, but he can only hit you if you stand there. You hear me? Don't stand there. Come on, man. You get in trouble, I'm gonna stop it. Hurt me. Just watch it. Slap.
Well, as Tom Urbina and Ray Vargas, his father, met with him after that destructive 5th round, the first comment that Devin Vargas said to his cornermen were, "I cannot hear out of my right ear." Round number 6 between the unbeatens. Kevin Johnson with an opportunity to shine here in AC tonight. Can he finish him?
You know, this is going to sound very harsh. It's going to sound a little cold and almost lacking of emotion, lacking of care, but believe me, it's not. This is a very difficult business, if you haven't noticed, over the years. And if you're in the corner and you have a fighter telling you that he can't hear out of the ear, you know, obviously it's your responsibility to say, okay, from a medical standpoint, what do I do? But once you make a decision that he can go on, you have to find a way. Either stop the fight or find a way to tell your fighter, listen, right now, forget about that. Right now, you don't have to worry about hearing. You have to worry about talking with your hands. And again, look, Johnson may very well win this fight by knockout tonight. Not a hard statement to make. He's already got 2 10-8 rounds. But again, his temperament to fight in spots is allowing Vargas opportunities to get a pit stop, opportunities to pull himself together.
Earl Morton replacing the mouthpiece there on Devin Vargas, and you can see what Vargas is doing. He keeps opening up his mouth, trying to open up that right ear. I don't think things are going to change. We've seen injuries like that through the years sitting ringside, and once that goes that way, it stays that way. The problem is Vargas needs to not think about it. If you're a fighter, you just keep fighting.
Again, early on, a lot of people probably said, Teddy, are you crazy? Johnson's not a finisher. Look what he's doing to Vargas. And again, he may wind up knocking him out. But again, just fighting in spots. And with those spots, he's allowing Vargas, again, to survive moments.
And Vargas hanging on with that left hand around the neck of Johnson.
Again, you see the difference in the technical approach, the physical approach of these two fighters. Johnson makes his punches count. He looks to place them. He doesn't look to waste anything. And Vargas' whole approach is to just be busy.
Good left hook from Johnson. Vargas stood up. He's on wobbly legs. 44 seconds to go. Trying to tie up. Right now he's lined up. And there's the towel. The fight is over. The Devin Vargas corner has seen enough. Kevin Johnson with a TKO victory. Vargas stopped. Two knockdowns, one in the third round, then he got to him in the fifth round, hurt him badly, and in the sixth round, even more reined in. I like when they quit. As Kevin Johnson does exactly what he said he would do.
Hey, where are you fighting tonight?
And they look over Devin Vargas, who took this fight just last week. He felt it was a golden opportunity. Teddy, I asked you very early on tonight, they had to assess risk. Is it worth it to take this fight? To collide as two unbeatens? Is he ready? You said he needs to take a deep breath.
Yeah, I didn't think he was ready for this fight. And again, I'm not saying it, as a Monday morning quarterback after the fact. You asked me before the first round started, and that was exactly my response, that if I had Vargas, forget about all the amateur experience. That's terrific. But he didn't have the pro experience. Johnson did. He had not been in a fight where he had to take a deep breath, as I said, emotionally, physically, technically, where he could find out whether or not he could depend on himself in tough waters, in deep waters. Johnson had done that already, and I thought that would serve Johnson, and it did. Vargas, when he got to that moment, he had no answers.
And you see the emotion of Devin Vargas tasting defeat for the first time in his career as the tears rain down here in Atlantic City. And now for Kevin Johnson, well, that American heavyweight scene, a little life to it. You know what Cristobal Arreola has done. He is exciting. Eddie Chambers is well skilled. Fast Eddie, a good boxer. He is 34-1. He has defeated Sam Peter. And now Kevin Johnson moves to 22-0-1. And let's take a look back at just how Kevin Johnson was able to put it together tonight.
And again, early on, you could see the busier guy was Vargas, but the more effective guy, the guy placing the punches that counted, that was Mr. Johnson.
Round number 5, where Vargas would go down against the ropes.
And when he went down, we responded, we talked about it, we said that right now he's thinking about his career. He's thinking of whether or not he can continue and should continue. And that thought was taken away from him right there when you saw the towel thrown in by his corner. A little more action, going backwards a little bit now. Again, the towel comes in, and the corner took that decision away from Vargas by stopping the fight.
For the official particulars, we send it up to the generous one, Joe Antonacci.
Boxing fans, the time, 2 minutes and 23 seconds of round number 6. Your referee, Earl Morton, stops the contest. Your winner by technical knockout, still undefeated, Asbury Park, New Jersey, Kevin the Kingpin Johnson.